welcome to Press Pass Live. This is your weekly OMFL podcast show, and we are glad to have you. I am your host, the Commissioner Nate. Let me welcome in my two other guests. We've got our resident co-host here with D. Wayne. D. Wayne of the Falcons, welcome to the show, buddy.
Glad to be here, Nate.
And then stepping in for Hude, who is dealing with the in-laws who popped in on him. We've got the man with the plan, Mr. Maniac of the Detroit Lions. Maniac, welcome to the show, bud.
Thanks for having me, guys. Looking forward to having a good one.
Maniac is our guy who works on the magazine and does some really cool graphics and different stuff. And man, we're glad that you're here, and this is going to be a good show. Let's do a little catching up for everybody. Now, we didn't have a show last week because I've been traveling, and we just could not all get on the same page. And to be honest, I just don't like doing the show alone. It's boring. So we've missed a little bit of time here, but we are in week 16. So let me catch up with week 14 and 15 as this season is already quickly wrapping up and coming to a close. The Panthers beat the Buccaneers 27-17. The Broncos beat the Chargers 35-14. The 49ers 31, the Dolphins 28. The Cardinals with a 26-21 victory over the Jets. The Jaguars 24, the Lions 14. The Falcons 38, the Packers 28. The Chiefs with a 37-26 victory over the Patriots. The Saints with a 35-17 victory over the Raiders. The Eagles with a 31-13 victory over the Ravens. The Vikings with a 31-24 victory over the Texans. The Bengals with an impressive victory, 41-9 over the Browns. The Bills with a 27-17 victory over the Titans. The Colts with a 27-0 victory over the Bears. Cowboys with a 20-0 victory over the Giants. The Rams with a 30-24 victory over the Seahawks. The Redskins with a 22-9 victory over the Steelers. And that was your games for week 14. We'll catch up with week 15 here really fast. The Rams with a 17-10 victory over the 49ers. Texans 51, the Bears 14. Let's pump those brakes a little bit sooner there, fellas. The Jets with a 28-7 victory over the Bills. Chiefs 48, the Broncos 6. Pump those brakes. Packers 22, the Buccaneers 6. Redskins 26, the Cardinals 6. The Dolphins with a 20-0 victory over the Chargers. The Browns 23, the Giants 17. The Ravens with a nice 42-38 victory over the Steelers. The Patriots fall to the Colts. The Patriots fall to the Bengals 34-13. The Colts beat the Raiders 31-26, and the Raiders get a couple of big time losses there that are going to come back to haunt them possibly. The Falcons with a 22-3 victory over the Saints. The Panthers 35, the Lions 14. The Seahawks 31, the Cowboys 21. The Titans 39, the Jaguars 28. And then the wrap-up week 15, the Vikings 21 over the Eagles 6. And that wraps us up and brings us right to where we are. So let's just hop right on into it. We're going to do a little buy and sell action here. We're going to see who do you like and who do you kind of have your eye on. So let's do that right now. Let's do a little buy and sell back and forth, and you guys can just take turns and pick the ones that you really like. Are you buying or selling? Oh, Maniac, this one's going to hurt just a little bit. Are you buying or selling the Lions as a playoff team? And there's the silence right there. D. Wayne, buying or selling the Lions as a playoff team?
If you'd asked me a few weeks ago, I'd have went buy. But they've went 1-4 the last 5 games, and I'm going to have to sell them because the playoff hopes are out of their hands. They have to hope for the Saints to lose in week 17. Like I said, I'm going to have to sell them. As much as it hurts me to say that, Maniac, I'm going to have to sell.
You know, I'm not going to let Maniac answer because I know what his answer is. It's going to be self-deprecating. It's going to be crapping on his season. He has had a very, very good season here. I know it hasn't been the exact season that he's won. He's had a little rough stretch here in the last few games. I'm going to have to sell also. Again, a couple of weeks ago, I think that would have been a little bit on the upswing, but a couple of tough losses here kind of done you in. I'm going to have to sell the Detroit Lions, but we're going to start with you this time. Maniac, do you like buy or sell the Kansas City Chiefs as a playoff team?
Oh, he got a bye it all, man, because KC is on a roll. Ducks has got his team rolling. And of course, Ducks is a mainstay in the playoffs. He's every time he's playing, he seems like he's always battling for top notch in the playoffs and stuff with his team and stuff. So it's definitely a buy for the Chiefs.
Dwayne, you buying or selling the Chiefs?
Well, I'm not going to go on a Ducks rant like I did last postseason. But I'm just going to say buy. I think, like I said, Maniac pretty much said it. There's not a whole lot to add to it. We're going to buy. He's a mainstay in the playoffs, and we're just going to buy the Chiefs for now.
Yeah, I think you got to buy that team, and I don't care what he says. I'm not listening to any of it. You kind of get on my nerves with all that stuff. You know that you're a mainstay. You'll probably be right there fighting for an OMFL Bowl appearance. The Oakland Raiders at 8-6. Are you buying or selling the Oakland Raiders, Dwayne, as a playoff team?
See, I was torn on this one. I played the Raiders. Raiders are good. I'm going to have to sell. And when I say sell, it's just their defense. Offensively, I think he can play with anybody. Defensively, he's just a step behind defensively, and I just don't buy you as a playoff team if you can't stop the other team from scoring.
Maniac, you buying or selling the Oakland Raiders?
I'm going to have to sell as well. I think if he would have got that win against Colin and the Colts here, I think it was week 15. It might have been 14. I'm not sure, but he could have pulled that one out. I think there would have been a difference with that. Right now, there's just a log jam in the AFC. A lot of good teams, and there's going to be probably some really good 10, 11 win teams possibly sitting out looking from the outside in.
I know that he's had a rough go at it, but overall he's had a really good season. Until the Kansas City Chiefs joined, he really had that division in tow. I'm going to go ahead and buy the Oakland Raiders as a playoff team. I think that they sneak in. They're not going to last long unless they get this losing streak figured out, though. They've definitely got some issues that they're going to have to get figured out. Let's hop over and talk about the Baltimore Ravens. Are you buying or selling the Baltimore Ravens as a playoff team? Maniac.
I'm buying him. He's got a really good rushing attack over there with Gurley, and of course, I know Gurley from last season being a Detroit Lion and stuff, and it just seems like he's been rolling here as of late. So I'm gonna have to say I'm throwing my chips in and buying for the Ravens.
Dwayne, buy or sell the Ravens?
Well, this were me and Maniac go the opposite ways. I think he has a great team. I think he's had a great season, probably better than any of us probably could have predicted. But I just don't. He's going to make the playoffs, of course. I'm just going to sell him. I think he's out first round. Right now, they got him matched up with Cincy and the Patriots, and I just don't see him. I don't see him coming past the Patriots in that first round.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to buy on the Baltimore Ravens. I mean, they're sitting at 11-3. To me, it's pretty much a lock. They're battling the Bengals in a tight race, but the Bengals did have that big victory over them, and so I think it'll be a tight race as it comes down for the division. But I do buy them as a playoff team. Since we're talking about those Cincinnati Bengals, our buddy who is now jammed into his home and being held hostage by in-laws. That's why he couldn't be on the show with us. But the Cincinnati Bengals, Dwayne, are you buying or selling the Cincinnati Bengals as a playoff team?
Well, there's no bias here. Cincinnati's scary, just all around. Like I said, he's 12-3 this season. He's third in scoring in the league at 32 points a game, and he's fourth in defense at only allowing 18 points a game. He's just all around. He's came together, and his second-year quarterback has had a heck of a sophomore year. He's throwing 17 less interceptions this season than he did last season, and I think that's a big tail story for the Bengals season this year. So I'm going to buy him.
This awkward space. I figured we'd get into the groove here. Maniac, are you buying or selling the Bengals?
I am buying Mr. Huday's Bengals. He's definitely like what Dwayne said. He's taking care of the ball from the quarterback, position and stuff, not throwing those interceptions, and he's just beasting right now. I mean, you can't say much more about what the amount of points he's putting up, how he's doing it. I mean, he's just owning the airways right now with that passing attack there in Cincinnati.
Yeah, I'm buying also 10-1 in the conference, 5-0 in the division. The team's pretty much a lock. Go ahead and buy two of the Bengals if you can get it at a good price. Let's talk about the Buffalo Bills. They're 8-6, 4-2 in the division, 8-4 in the conference. D. Wayne, are you buying or selling the Buffalo Bills as a playoff team?
Well, he was probably one of my harder choices, and I say this because if one week I've seen him the Chiefs, I've seen him play a few teams on here, plays them neck and neck, and then he loses 28-7 to the Jets, or he loses 42-17 to the Seahawks, and I just cannot buy into that inconsistency. I got to see somebody that is right there every week. You can't lose games you shouldn't lose, and I just don't. I just can't buy him, and he's on the outside of the playoffs looking in right now. I have to sell on the Bills. They're just too inconsistent for my liking right now.
I'm
Maybe
going to
that-
have to sell. See, I didn't wait for you this time.
that's right. This is how it's supposed to flow. We're going to get our act together.
Gotcha. Well, unfortunately, B-Hog has got the maniac disease. He's inconsistent, just like Dwayne said, one week he puts up monstrous numbers, and then the next week, he just like what happened to your team and stuff. But unfortunately, I'm going to have to sell him as well.
Yeah, I think I got to sell also. The Buffalo Bills are one of those teams that I have a hard time putting my money on, and I think that he's got some really good teams nipping at his heels there. Now let's talk about our buddy, the Colts, Colin and his Colts. He's sitting at 10-4, 11-1 in the division, 7-3 in the conference. Maniac, are you buying or selling the Indianapolis Colts as a playoff team?
I'm buying. I played Colin, I believe, the first game of the season, and he absolutely just ripped me a new one. He just ran all over me. His team, if he's going, that team is just deadly. I mean, he's got great defense. He can move the ball on the ground, and he can pass around with his receivers and stuff. So I'm buying, and I'm looking to see Colin make a move in the playoffs this season.
He said it all right there. I'm gonna have to buy the Colts too. For one, Andrew Luck has had a resurgence after 2 down years. His QB ratings went up and his interceptions went down. And like I said, Colin can score with anybody, and his defense has really improved and really showed. They're maybe not the very top notch, but they're probably in the top third of the league defensively, and that defense can hold long enough for that offense just to tear it apart. So I'm gonna have to buy the Colts.
I'm interested to see what the Colts can do once they make it in the playoffs, but I'm definitely buying them as a playoff team. And then the last one, we're going to talk about our other buddy, Chaotic, and his Saints. Now, Chaotic, you were invited to the show, and you politely, or impolitely, I should say, turned us down. I wish you would have come on to talk about your Saints, but the New Orleans Saints, Maniac, are you buying or selling them as a playoff team at 9-6?
I'm buying. I've played Chaotic here like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and he just absolutely shut me down. That was right after I was on my big high. I was on my winning streak and stuff. And his team is loaded. He's hitting on all cylinders right now, and it's going to be. I've already said. I told him stuff. I'm looking for him to make a push for the Super Bowl. Him and Dwayne be fighting for that bowl appearance there for the NFC.
Yeah, he said it. That was a tough. And last 9 games, Chaos is 8-1, and it's just defense. Defense leads the way for him. I think he's first in literally every category defensively except for points allowed. If his offense can show up, and that's what actually started to show up the last 9 games, is he averaged around 24, 25 points a game. When to start that little streak, he was averaging about 9 to 10 points a game. So his offense came back up, and the great defense he's had really every season he's had a good defense. It's finally having an offense to right there on par with it. So I'm going to have to buy him because I buy into defense, and if you can stop the other team and throw them off the rhythm, you can win games. I'm going to have to buy Chaotix in the same.
Yeah, I got to buy the Saints also, only because of their last win over the Panthers. I think if he loses that game, then I'm selling the Saints. But I think that the Packers are really the only other team that have an opportunity to catch him. And at 7-7, I just don't see that taking place. So I'm going to go ahead and buy the Saints, and I'm happy for him. He's deserved making the playoffs, and I'm excited to see kind of what his team does. Now, we're talking about playoffs and teams that are going to make it in the playoffs, and we'll probably be in the playoffs before the next show. But let's talk about the AFC versus the NFC. This has kind of been a back and forth, and the last couple of years have been really NFC heavy as far as bowl winners. Of course, Dwayne and his Falcons won 2 of those, and then last year the Ducks came over and took the Eagles and won that bowl. And so now that Ducks has moved over to Philly, I guess the question that I want to propose to you guys now, this has changed over the last few weeks since we've created this agenda, but overall, do you feel like the NFC is a weaker division from top to bottom than the AFC?
I'll let Dwayne answer that one first.
Oh, okay. I don't know. It's kind of like you said, Nate. When you we first talked about this agenda, I think it was a little bit wider. I think the gap has narrowed. I think the AFC is top to bottom, and I think I actually wrote down that they got 5 teams. I'm not going to say which 5 teams. 5 teams I got right now that can win the Super Bowl out of the AFC. I think the AFC is, like I said, top to bottom is probably better per se this year, but I think the NFC, especially towards later in the season, has really closed the gap. It's really close, and I hate to say the last couple of seasons, like the Ducks moving back and forth, it's kind of swayed the power of it. But Ducks is not in control of the AFC right now, and so it's tough. It's tough. The gap is really close. Like I said, a week or so ago, I would have had to say AFC was probably a lot top to bottom was a lot better this year. But NFC has really closed the gap. I mean, realistically, you have 3 teams with 13 wins by the end of the season. It's just real top heavy, but the gap is closed. Like I said, I can't really say either way. I don't think the NFC is that much weaker, but the gap is closed as the season's progressed.
Personally, I think the AFC right now is going to be I just feel like the competition over there in the AFC is from top to bottom is better. From New England, Houday and Cincy, Colin and Indianapolis and stuff. Those guys are constantly battling. They can put up points. And I haven't played those guys as much and stuff, but I have played Ducks and I have played Colin. And I just feel like Colin and Houday is going to be the one that's going to be battling out there in the AFC for that top spot. NFC, again, you got Dwayne. And then we got the Rams over there with Dawson, and then chaotic again with the Saints and stuff. I think those are your top guys. Mo in Seattle also. But to me, just top to bottom, I believe AFC is a stronger and deeper conference.
Yeah, I have to agree with you guys. I think that the AFC from top to bottom is just stronger of the conference. I think the bottom half of the Bills, the Jaguars, the Titans, who've been playing really well, is a better bottom half than the Panthers, the Cardinals, the Lions, and the Packers. I just think that top to bottom, both conferences are better, really good at the top, I should say. But I think the AFC has a better bottom and a better middle. I mean, you're talking about the Ravens, the Patriots, the Colts, just kind of that middle group. I like that better than the Vikings, the Cowboys, the Saints. I like it better than that middle group. So it is going to be a fun finish as we kind of come down to the wire here. But I do think that the AFC is a much better team, or conference, I should say. Let's talk about one of those AFC teams, the Baltimore Ravens, who have really turned it around this season. So, Dwayne, we're going to start with you on this one. What do you think the Ravens have done so much better this year to get off to that 11-3 season that they've had and really turn things around and be one of those top contenders in the AFC?
Well, and this is the one, I guess, not really a quote. The one thing I always go back to is you got to win the games you're supposed to win, and he's won the games he's supposed to win. I think his 3 losses this year, I have my homework all set. I knew he had lost 1 game early in the season to Houday, and he lost 1 to Ducks and the Chiefs, if I'm not mistaken, and the Cowboys, and that was a controversial one to say the least. But he lost 3 games right there to very tough teams, but he won the games he's supposed to win. But his running game run the ball. Todd Gurley, he paid a fortune for him, and he's trying to make use of every dollar they paid for him. And his turnover ratio, he's got a +9 turnover ratio this season. He's only got 21 turnovers through 14 games, and he's got 30 takeaways. It's always good to be in the positive. I don't care if it's 10 and 9, you need to be in the positive on the turnover ratio. And one telling stat that got me, and like I said, it could help why his quarterback is a first or second year guy. He's a rookie. He's a rookie this year. And when you only let your rookie quarterback get sacked 11 times through 14 games, and you keep him off his back, and that's why he's having a very good rookie season this year. I think I think that goes a long way. Is you protect your quarterback. Bless you. You protect your quarterback, and you run the ball and take care of the ball. It's just a recipe for winning.
Yeah, with the Ravens and stuff, I feel like, just exactly like Dwayne had said too. He's taking care of the ball. His rushing attack to me is what's allowing him to have an easier season with his rookie quarterback and stuff. He's not having to rely on those long third down situations where you put your quarterback in that long drop back, and having these guys in this league that are tremendously good at rushing the passer, using the defensive tackles and stuff, having that extra time to get back there in the back and get after the quarterback and stuff. So I feel like with the way his team's built with his offensive line and the rushing that he's put up, Gurley's in the top 3 rushers and touchdown makers in the league this season. And when you have that type of output from your tailback, that's going to make it a lot easier for your quarterback. And in this situation with a rookie, it's been a formula that's helping win.
Yeah, I have to agree with both of you guys. I mean, 26 combined touchdowns from your top 2 running backs. Your top 3 running backs are all averaging way over 5 yards a carry. That offensive line is opening up holes, protecting the quarterback. You're smart with it. You're eating the clock. You're 8th in points scored, and you're middle of the pack defensively. And so if you can put that really clock-eating, slow offense that scores touchdowns and not field goals with a middle of the pack defense, he's really good at a user with Amos, that really fast, speedy, free safety that he has that he makes plays with. Just a lot that's going on there, and that team really is on the upswing. Let's keep it in the AFC, though. Let's talk about the top contenders in the AFC. Now, your top teams are going to be the Cincinnati Bengals, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Ravens, who we just talked about. Even though they're not winning their division, they are one of the top teams. It'll be a really neat matchup. I want to see what both those teams, the Ravens and the Bengals, do next week in Week 17. Do they play starters? Did they sit people? Did they show their hand? I don't know. It'd just be a really interesting team. But then you also have the Patriots and the Colts that are those teams that are winning the AFC. So we're going to start with Maniac on this one. Who do you have it that will win it all in the AFC?
Well, I'm a Duck fan. I'm Ducks fan, big fan, because I've watched probably more of his games than I have anybody else's in this league and stuff, and he just seems to know when to put things together. He makes those key drives. He gets those points on the board when he needs them, and he has that key stop on defense. When he needs it and stuff. I really feel like that he is the top one, and is probably going to be the one that's in the Super Bowl. But I still have to go back to Colin and Houday. I believe those 2 guys are really going to battle it out for the second spot. And don't be surprised if Colin comes out of this and is there at the end of this thing. And who knows? He may even shock us and beat Ducks. We're kind of thinking ahead here, but I like I said, I've played his team. I knew what I saw from his team and stuff, and his team was just so dominant versus my team. And if he can do that against other guys and stuff, look out for Colin.
Yeah, he said it there, and that's not a bad choice at all. Colin, when Colin is playing his game, Colin might be one of, if not the top 3 scariest guys in this league. And I got to see it firsthand last year. He gave me probably my worst loss I've had since I've been in this league. And he's scary. But like I said, that AFC, that top end is just so scary. The Bengals, the Chiefs, the Colts, Patriots, Ravens, and even the Raiders. We forget Raiders I think they were 11, 12 win team a couple seasons ago. If they could have kept their defense together, they could have been a real contender. I don't know what happened on the defensive side of the ball. And Cincy has been a 10 or 12 game winner every season he's been here, and you can never count him out. And if he could ever got over the Ducks hump over there, I don't know. I really put the Patriots against anybody if he could just get past Ducks. And I know that's just eating at him because he cannot get past Ducks in the playoffs. But it's hard for me to bet against Houday and the Bengals because he's built such a dominant team on that side, offensively and defensively. And I said it last playoffs when I predicted Houday to make it to the playoffs and win it. I mean, a Super Bowl and win it, is that Houday can score so fast. If you look at his stats, I mean, he probably leads the league in 20-plus yard, and for Houday, 60-plus yard passes. But 20-plus yard big play passes, and now he's got a defense that's just built so strong to, how would you say it, to complement his high-powered offense. He's not just going to try to outscore you. He's going to try to outscore you and hold you to 0 points. And I just have a hard time throwing my money on anybody else but the Bengals because, man, they're fine. They're clicking on all cylinders, and it's just a scary group. And like I say, he's not giving you the ball like he did last year. If you remember last year, he had 26 or 28 interceptions with that quarterback. And I think that might have been his downfall in the end as he turned the ball over too much. And right now he's 12 interceptions with his quarterback. Man, it's hard for me to bet against the Bengals this season.
Yeah, I'm gonna be lame and just go with Ducks. I mean, the guy is always in the NFL Bowl. You look at Simeon. He probably will win the MVP. 36 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, 63% completion percentage. I do like what the Bengals are doing though. That team is stacked from top to bottom. He's got a 1,300-yard passer, a quarterback who's got 26 touchdowns and 12 interceptions. He's got a top 12 offense, easily probably top 10 offense. Just he's rolling really on all cylinders. And also Ducks let some people off the wire last year in the playoffs and really escaped with 2 victories that he shouldn't have had. And 49ers just have to move that kick. If they move the kick, it's a game over for Ducks. And so it will be a fun ride in the playoffs. But I have to stick and put my money on the guy who's won several bowls here and who has several rings and trophies sitting at home. And even though he didn't build this team, it is super, super duper strong, and really he's got that offense rolling. So I'm gonna go ahead and take Ducks. That kind of wraps up the show. Let's go to our last segment here. Excuse me for not being my normal energetic self, but it's been a long week or two for me. But it's been a lot of fun. I've missed a couple of games and CPU and all that fun stuff just because I've been gone and traveling. And so I'm kind of ready for this season to be over with and get to rebuild my team and have some fun in the off season. And then before we know it, man, we'll be here with Madden 18. But let's do our outside the league segment, and it is college baseball season. So are you a college baseball fan? If so, what are you looking forward to? If not, then what are you looking forward to keep you busy this summer before the NFL training camp kicks off late in July?
Well, I'll start off. I'm not much of a college baseball fan. I will keep up with my Longhorns a little bit here and there and stuff, but I'm more into watching my Texas Rangers, and they've been kind of up and down right now. So that's my holdover until training camp. Once training camp hits, it's all football, and then just getting the new news in for Madden, the new Madden coming out and stuff that always just dominates my summer. And then, of course, kids out of school and vacation time, stuff like that. But as far as college baseball, hey, if it is, Longhorns won a game, all right. If they didn't, I'm not losing no sleep over it.
4-1 top 6. I'm just going to point that out. That's
No.
my LSU Tigers up on the Arkansas Razorbacks right now in the
Ooh.
SEC championship.
Ooh.
Hey, that was a shot, Nate. I was just fixing to say I don't really keep up with college baseball a whole lot, except for the Razorbacks. I look at them a little bit, especially towards the end of the year. They always have some crazy end of their season. But I'm like him. I'm a big Mariners fan, and I know him being a Rangers fan, Mariners fan. We're talking to the Astros of all people.
First team to 31 wins, 8-0
I know.
Dallas Keuchel, Cy Young award-winning Dallas Keuchel.
Razorback.
Just going to point all this out.
Yeah, so he gets to enjoy this right now. On Mariners, which they beat the Red Sox today, but they've scored like 3 runs the last 4 games. I don't know. We're the most inconsistent team I've ever seen. Summertimes it's always busy. I play softball and stuff myself, but like Maniac said, it is almost vacation time. I always go on vacation into July, and like I said, I watch the Mariners baseball, play softball, and like I said, I'll get my vacation in this summer, and then I'm ready for the next Madden to come out.
Yeah, I'm doing some traveling for the next couple of weeks for work, and then probably try to get out of there for a small little getaway vacation with the family. But I am usually very much around during the summertime, very involved with stuff in the city, and so I am definitely around waiting for the new Madden. But I do enjoy some baseball. Football is always my favorite sport, but my baseball teams are actually good this year, so I'm trying to enjoy some baseball season until my Saints get ready for training camp, and they're going to be home, so I'll get to go watch them a lot more this year than I usually do in the past. So lots of really good, fun stuff. Before you know it, fellas, we're going to be into season 72 playoffs, and then season 73 will be here. 73 will be our last season in Madden 17, so it's been a fun couple of seasons. We've got 6 in, which is a pretty good high watermark for us. Usually we get 5 in and then call it a day, but we were able to get 6 in this year. We did lose a couple of owners who just completely disappeared on us, which always happens. Always those fringe guys that get into the summer and just completely lose interest and just walk away. But overall, top to bottom, we've got some great guys here playing a lot of fun stuff. This summer, the new golf game will drop, and so there'll be a lot of good things to keep us busy. FIFA's still going strong. Huday's Dirty Dozen MLB League is still going strong, so lots of good stuff. If you haven't been able to turn into the CFM Roundtable, please check those out. It'll be a couple more weeks before we do version 3 of that, but that has been a fun thing to do, which is getting a lot of feedback and a lot of views, not only for the CFM movement, but also for our league and our community. And I think that our guys are some of the best guys out there, and I wouldn't trade them for the world. So thank both of you for giving me some of your Sunday afternoon. We'll get this thing out to everybody and let them listen and hear to it. Any closing thoughts as we wrap up season 73 or 72?
Man, it's the playoff time of the year. It's starting to get antsy. You can start out. Me personally, I can start feeling the playoff competitiveness get up in the chat. You can start seeing people get a little more antsy for the playoffs, and I just love seeing it. You're fixing to see some really good Madden games next couple weeks.
Playoffs? My playoffs are done, so it's gonna be it's gonna be exciting watching everybody play for the championship and stuff. But I'm ready for the draft. Let's bring on the draft.
Oh, Jim Moore, the draft is always my favorite thing that we do here. I just love doing the draft shows, but Maniac, don't be such a stranger. I know that soccer has ended for you and that you'll probably be around a whole lot more, so don't be a stranger to the show. Feel free to pop on, and be nice to have a couple of you guys on all at the same time. D. Wayne, thank you again for being on the show. Hope both of you enjoy your Memorial Day weekend and enjoy your time with your family. For all the leadership here at Grown Folks, we thank you for tuning in to the Press Pass Live, and we will see you next week. Peace.
Later, guys.
Second.